This is John for Global Traveler Magazine. Today I'm talking travel with young entertainer Reagan To. How are you, Reagan?
I'm doing amazing. How about you?
I am great. I'm so excited to talk to you. I've read a lot about you and I'm excited to ask you a bunch of questions. Now, you're young. Are you 13 now?
I just turned 13 last month.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, obviously, you're still young. When did you start in the entertainment business?
When I was 6 years old, or around 5 years old, I was really sick because my lung collapsed and I was in the hospital, in the ICU. And I was watching this TV show on the TV in the hospital. I was like, I really want to be on the TV one day. So I told my mom, she said if I get better, she'll sign me up for acting classes. And then after that, I started my first projects. I started with Jane the Virgin, then I went to Jimmy Kimmel, and that's where I started my acting career.
And how did it feel, your first acting job? How excited were you? How nervous were you?
It was really fun because that was my first time I got to be in a trailer. It's so fun. And also, the cast was super nice. It was my first time meeting anyone who was like in a TV show. So I was definitely really excited. And yeah, it was just an incredible experience, and I'll always remember it.
Then did you get hooked on it right then? You said, now that this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Nice. And you've been doing it ever since. I mean, you're young, but you've got a tremendous resume already. One of
Thank
your
you.
one of your biggest projects is you do the voiceover work on Netflix Squid Game.
Yes.
But now I heard,
Um,
go ahead.
oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I heard through a different interview you did where you've never actually seen Squid Game.
I've never seen Squid Game.
Could you tell that story? I know your parents, go ahead.
So, when I booked Squid Game, I had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. When I walked in, I had to cover my eyes during the scenes, so I really didn't know what was going on fully. I thought it was just a fun red light, green light in the park or something. That was not it. But we never even knew the name for Squid Game until one day I was just sleeping in my bed. It was around 3 or 4 years ago when Squid Game just came out and it was like starting to blow up really big. And my dad was like, "Let's watch this show." I wasn't there. This is what my mom told me. My dad was like, "Let's watch this like really popular show." And mine was like, "Okay, sure." And they were watching it. They're like, "This sounds a lot like Reagan Boys." This, and then she had to go to the credits and just to double check. She's like, "Oh yeah, that was what happened," and that my name was on the credits. So she's like, "Oh, this was the Squid Game, the one that I was doing." So that's actually how I found out. I've never watched it since. My brother hasn't watched it either. He's 17, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch it when I'm older, but probably not right now.
Well, I know it is a very violent show. It's a very entertaining show, but
Yeah.
there is violence, so I certainly understand why, a youngster wouldn't be watching it. Um, Now, how difficult was it? Was it easier or more difficult to do voiceover work as opposed to just regular acting?
I think they are both different in their own ways. For voiceover, you can't see the person, so you need to make sure your voice has so much physicality and like you can feel it just by the voice and not by the camera, that the person watching can feel the emotion. For like for example, for animation, there is no real person. Like for example, Squid Game, there was people acting and I just did the English voice, so you can still see it. But for animation, you really gotta express all the emotion. Like most of the times, we make all the sound, we make all the cheering, we make all the background noises. Like we do everything in animation. Sometimes the footsteps too.
Wow.
And for regular acting, the difference is you have to memorize your lines and you have to have lots of good connection between your reader, so you can actually feel the connection through each other. Because sometimes the acting camp is not so real than real life because the readers don't actually know each other and are connected to each other.
Now, do you have an acting coach? Because you are so incredibly poised. You're much more mature than your age. And I mean that as a compliment, absolutely. Did somebody coach you or are you just kind of learning as you go along?
I have lots of acting coaches. They always guided me through. My first acting coach studio helped me also get my agent as well, and I've been with my agent ever since. And then I recently signed with my manager around a year ago. And a fun fact, my manager also manages Sabrina Carpenter,
Oh,
which I'm a big fan of, so that's so fun for me.
have you got to meet her yet?
Not yet. I'm actually going to her concert, but hopefully I get to meet her one day. That would be my
Well, you
dream.
got it. You absolutely have to, of course. No, I again in a previous interview, I know you said you basically live life as a normal teenager, normal youngster. But you've got 350,000 followers on Instagram. That's not a normal teenager. How cool is that? And do the kids treat you any differently?
I am very grateful to everyone who follows me on Instagram because it's very hard to build a social media following, especially with how many people doing it. But I'm really happy that people enjoy watching my life and my content. Um, I love creating content for everyone. I think it's super fun. And at school, I try my best for not to people to find out who I am because I don't want them to treat me any differently than a normal kid because that's truly just what I am.
Well, true. You make a good point. And I know you're also involved in dancing. I've seen, and I have to say, I saw a video of you dancing, and at first I was just kind of glancing around. At first, I thought it was just, an older, more professional dancer. And I realized it was you. You're amazing on the dance floor.
Thank you so much. That's
Tell
so
us a little
sweet.
bit about your dance competitions.
Um, I've been dancing around the time I started acting, but I started ballet long before because my mom's actually a ballerina, fun fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've been doing ballet and gymnastics when I was younger. Then I got into ballroom dancing because when I was on Jane the Virgin, my first role I booked, I was talking with the main character, Gina, and she was telling me that like about Dancing with the Stars, and I watched it and I was like, OMG, I need to try this. And my first class was so fun and I started from there and I started climbing up and over the years I've won several titles like national champion, world champion. In ballroom dancing there's like three major competitions. It's the UK, the international, and Blackpool. So last year I was at the international and I won first in under 14 when I was only 12, which was really fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then I started dancing with my partner not too long, like around 10 months. And yeah, we've been crushing it in this industry.
So I'm excited because you are young and I get to ask you some travel questions. I've never done this interview with someone as young as you, so I'm very excited to ask you some travel questions to see what your answers are about the world.
All right.
You've been a lot. I know you've been to different countries for your competitions or for acting. What are some of your favorite places?
Um, I would say I just came back from Korea during summer break, which was so fun. I love Korea. I love Japan. I came back from China also in the summer because I was representing Team USA in the Ballroom Dance Olympics. It was
Wow.
really fun. And I also love my family is planning to go to Egypt in November, I think, which is kind of cool. I'm so excited. It's my first time. And oh, I also love Europe, every single part of it. I most especially I love Paris. During around after COVID a little, like 2 years ago, maybe my mom and I were the only people in Paris. Like my dad and my brother were at home, and we went to Paris, and we were having such a fun time.
Wow.
I love traveling.
Is there any couple of places you haven't been that you really want to go?
I really want to go to Greece, Switzerland, also Indonesia. Yeah, I I'm very I'm really excited to go to new places because I also want to go to Bora Bora,
Oh,
but a lot of competitions they take me there no matter what, so I get to experience it either way.
well, I was gonna say, at those competitions, do you get any free time to kind of check out the stuff, the city?
Most of the time I actually do. Sometimes I don't like for example, if it's in a different country, I will definitely go check it out. But I actually went to New York. This usually I go to around the US the same places because the competitions are usually around the same places. So most sometimes I don't really get to go around, but I've seen pretty much everything.
Yeah, I realize you're probably with an adult at most of the time you're on, trips. But what are one or two things that you always bring on a trip that you make sure that you have this on your whenever you go anywhere?
Okay, I always make sure I have my voiceover mic
Okay.
to do my auditions, lights for the audition, and of course for filming videos, which is really fun. My phone, and that's probably it.
Okay, that's good. As a youngster, what advice do you give to other youngsters who might be in the same position as you about starting a career, whether it's dancing, acting, anything in the entertainment business? What have you learned that you'd like to tell others?
If you love something, you should go and try your best for it, no matter how long, no matter how hard it takes. Just keep going, keep staying strong, and you'll get it.
And do you have any future projects coming up that you're able to talk about?
I do have a future project coming out this year, December. I was waiting for a really long time, and I'm really excited to announce that it's coming out December.
Could you tell could you tell us anything about it or no?
I don't think so, but I
Okay.
just know it's gonna come out in December.
Okay, so then people have to follow you on your Instagram and then they'll be able to absolutely. And as soon as I see it, I'll tell everybody that I know about it. We'll spread the word. When you were going back to Squid Games, they did a skit about that on Saturday Night Live. Did you get to see that?
I did get to see it. I think it was so funny. It was hilarious.
I mean,
Um,
how cool is that for you? To like I mean, Saturday Night Live is a big deal, and they made a skit about you.
yeah, I loved it. It was so funny. And I'm just really happy that I'm really grateful that a lot of like skits, I know they made a TV show of Squid Game too, and there's like a bunch of games and everything, and I'm really happy that everyone enjoys the way I said red light, green light.
Yeah, I goofed up. I should have started this interview with you saying green light. Maybe we'll end it with you when we're ending it. I'll have you do the red light thing.
Okay.
Of the roles you've done so far, is there any that really stood out for you that you really had a fun time, or was really something that you were excited about?
Um, I was also young Ember in Elemental. That was an incredible experience. I got to go to the world premiere. Meeting the cast was incredible, especially my older self. She's so sweet. And I also was Mei Tung in Young Sheldon. This was more of a recent project. This was on camera.
I saw it.
And I was so excited when I booked the role because actually Young Sheldon is one of my favorite TV shows, and not just saying this because I was on Young Sheldon, but I genuinely like watched Young Sheldon like almost every single day. And I got to meet everyone in the cast, and OMG, they are all so sweet, especially Ian, who plays Young Sheldon. We did like a Warner Brothers studio tour during our lunch break. He's so sweet and kind, and I'm just really grateful that I could have been part of the show.
Well, that had to be exciting to be on something that you had watched already, and now you're on
Yeah, I was
it.
really happy.
I mean, certainly your friends had to see that. Like they have to know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you keep this up, do you plan on staying in the entertainment business as you get older?
Definitely. One of my dreams is to be a series regular on a Disney show or Nickelodeon or anything. I love acting and I'm really grateful for anything that I have. And I also hopefully one day win an Oscar or an Emmy.
Oh, I have no doubt that that could be in your path. So, have you been to any Comic Cons?
I haven't, but I've heard about it.
Because I mean, you are going to be in very much demand at some point in the near future about being a celebrity guest at a Comic Con. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Having people come up to you, signing the autographs, taking the pictures, and all that?
I love talking to my fans. I think it's so sweet. I'm very grateful for them for even watching my stuff. That's really sweet of them. And at dance competitions, a lot of fans come up to me, and I'm always happy to take photos or sign things or talk to anyone. I'm just really grateful that people actually admire me.
Well, for a 13-year-old, you've done a tremendous amount. You're extremely confident. You're extremely poised. It's so funny because I've seen some of your acting, and then when I had the chance to interview, I thought this is really cool because I didn't think I would have the opportunity to do this and to talk to you and to learn more about you was very interesting. Before I let you go, tell everybody where they could find out more information about you. Give everybody your social media, whatever you'd like.
My Instagram is Reagan_To, and my TikTok is Reagan and Julie. And I will let you guys know when I ever have new projects or anything. So just follow there and you'll know all the news about me.
Fantastic, Reagan. It's been a real pleasure. I wish you a lot of luck in your future. You've got a great, bright future. You're very intelligent. You're very poised. You're one of the more professional people I've ever met, and especially at a young age like this. So
Thank
I wish you a lot of luck. And I think to end it, you should say your line.
Yes, of course. Green light, red
Reagan,
light.
thank you very much, Reagan. It's been a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
Okay, you
Thank
have a good
you.
day. Bye bye.
Thank. Bye.